6 things you should stop doing while you're swimming. First thing you should stop doing while swimming is leaving early off the wall. I know we all do this, we all fall into this every once in a while. It's pretty easy. You want to get out there and get a little bit more rust on the next set. But what you're really doing is you're kind of cheating yourself out of some discipline, kind of treating yourself out of some things you can get while you're training. And in some ways, you're spoiling the set that your coach may have intricately planned and set up the exact amount of rest he wanted you to get for each set. So make sure you're leaving on time. I try to leave on the 8 or the 9, or start leaving on the 8 or the 9. That way you actually leave on the top, or whatever interval it is. Mistake number 2, it's a little bit of a weird one, but it's something I see a lot of swimmers doing, especially when they just started using toys in sets, and it's only ever pulling with paddles. I feel like this really misses out on a lot of things you can get out of pulling. And also when you pull with paddles, sometimes you'll adjust your technique because you've got that hips being lifted up by the buoy, and you adjust your technique to where you're not actually swimming how you usually do. And so it's good to every once in a while put on the paddles without the buoy and put on the buoy without the paddles and work both sides of that technique, because when you put paddles and buoy, sometimes you're going to pull a little deeper and you're going to feel like you're flying. You're going to feel so fast, but that's not how you swim when you're actually racing. And so it's good to have both and really work on that rotation. That's one thing I see all the time is when you have buoy and paddles, or even just the buoy, you change your rotation a lot with your torso. That's good. You want to accentuate the turn, but also you want to try to train exactly how you're going to race as much as possible. So it's good to kind of do both. Another thing about only ever pulling with paddles is that paddles are basically the weight lifting of the pool, but you can increase your risk of shoulder impingement, because you're pulling a lot more, you have a lot more resistance. So if your technique's off, that extra resistance can cause you to kind of hurt your shoulder. So you do have to be very aware of your technique when you pull with paddles. And that's why I'm saying every once in a while, switch it up. All right, number 3 of things you should stop doing when you're swimming. And this one might get me in a little bit of trouble with some of y'all. This one is you should stop breathing too little. Not every set is a hypoxic set, guys. Not every set you have to have some strict breathing pattern like you're in a race. On some of your maintenance sets, you should be almost breathing naturally. You need to have oxygen to fuel the body. And some swimmers take this to the extreme. Some swimmers breathe every stroke, even 100-meter races, and they still have national champion level times. And so you just want to make sure that you're not cutting yourself short by restricting your oxygen too much to where you're not actually able to get in enough of a set, or not able to keep up the amount of volume in a practice that you want to. The 4th thing you should stop doing is doing drills on too tight of an interval. And a lot of coaches fall into that because it's so easy. I do it myself. Just when I'm making my own programs and when I make programs for my swimmers, it's like I don't give them enough time on drills. And it's because drills can be done at a slower, more deliberate pace, and that's kind of how they're supposed to be done. Although breast and fly drills can be done at a much quicker pace and sometimes need to be short axis versus long axis. But if you do it at a slower, more deliberate pace, you're able to work on what that drill is actually trying to accomplish. And that's something to keep in mind when you're writing your intervals. You shouldn't not have intervals for drill, but you should just keep in mind how much time you're giving yourself based on what the drill is trying to accomplish. You want to be very specific in how much time you're getting based on what you're trying to actually accomplish for that drill. Some drills, like the shoulder, I forget what the quick, easy name for that one is. That one needs a lot more time. You're moving very, very slow. Now you can add fins to that, which I suggest doing, but you're still going to be moving at a much slower, deliberate pace, and you're not going to be making them on 30. I mean, you might, but then you're not getting enough rest to really think about what you're doing. Number 5 is one that I really struggle with, and it's not taking enough dolphin kicks off the wall. In practice, you should be taking more dolphin kicks than you do in the meet, unless you're doing race pace work. Most of the time, you should throw on 1 to 2 more dolphin kicks off of every single wall, just so that you're able to build that lung capacity, build the strength. Unless you're doing sprint based stuff. Like when you're doing race pace work, do as many as you're going to do in the meet. You want to replicate that movement over and over and over again. But if you can squeeze out 1 or 2 more when you're doing maintenance sets, do that. It's going to make you a stronger swimmer overall. You're going to get quicker off the walls. Michael Phelps used to do a set where he'd add 2 dolphin kicks on every single repetition. That's a good thing to practice. And for me, I really, really struggle with this. And backstroke, I don't like taking kicks off the wall, even though my underwaters are probably my strongest part of my stroke for backstroke. But what I'll do is I'll do like a set where I have 4 100s, and each one I have to increase my dolphin kicks by 2 off of every single wall. So I'll keep my race number on the first one, which is usually like 12, 10, 8, 8. And then on the next one, I have to do 14, 12, 10, 10. The next one, 16, and so on. So that's a good way to work on it, but make sure you're taking enough kicks off the wall. There's no reason to not maximize maximize your benefit from every single wall. Last thing you should stop doing at practice, you stop doing this while you're swimming, is not drinking water. Come on, guys. I know we're in water. It's hard to tell that we're getting dehydrated. We don't feel ourselves sweating. It's a little difficult sometimes, but you really should be bringing water to the pool every single day. I can't stress this enough. So many people forget to bring water. You're exerting yourself as much as a runner, as much as a cyclist, as much as a football player. Maybe not as much as a football player, depending on what they're doing. But you're exerting your body extremely. You're using every single muscle in your body. You need to have water to fuel yourself, and so that you're not getting cramps and not feeling tight. It's just overall a good thing to always bring a water bottle with you almost everywhere, but especially when you go swim. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope it was informative. I hope I'm not sounding like I don't know anything about swimming. I hope you guys like the new little decorations I have up on the wall for the videos. I'm going to be trying to turn this into a little bit of a studio here in the next few days to film more and more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Please go check out the GoFundMe. Go check out the Instagram. Got a lot of stuff going on there right now. And I'll see you on the next video.
Artlist